on MLK weekend. Glad you could join us for our continuing coverage of Maroon Tigers basketball on Maroon Tigers Sports Network. Charles Wood alongside Eric Slaughter with the play call. Tucker Toole joins us momentarily. Eric, over this holiday weekend, let's talk a little bit about what happened prior to us getting here tonight. Maroon Tigers coming off that road swing of 4 ball games. Catch us up to speed.
Well, it was a good road trip overall, 3-1. Maroon Tigers won their first 3 contests, 2 games up in the Western Division of the SIAC versus Lane and versus Kentucky State, I believe it was. And then 2 games against Eastern Conference Division opponents against Payne and Benedict. We lost to Benedict, but still 3-1 was a quality road trip. Got us all the way up to number 3 in the country and number 1 and number 2 in the South region.
As you referenced, a surprising loss to the Tigers of Benedict in that final ball game of the road swing. What's the impact for Morehouse as it relates to the conference play and region after that road swing?
Well, we're still sitting at number 1 in the East, but our lead has shrunk just a little bit. Here at home this weekend, we want to get these ball games, get 2 victories, maybe distance ourselves again. As I talked to Coach Brewer yesterday, all he cares about is being that number 1 East seed come March.
You referenced what's remaining on the schedule for the Maroon Tigers. 8 ball games left. One against a non-conference opponent, which ordinarily would be a conference opponent, Claflin, the Panthers of Claflin. But of those 8 ball games left, and the teams that remain on the East Division of the SIAC, only 4 ball games of conference wins separating number 1 Morehouse to number 5 Payne. Got to be a strong finish for the Maroon Tigers.
Well, yes, indeed. This is when it gets real serious. You're in the heart of your conference schedule. You'll have a home-and-home with Clark Atlanta. Then you'll see those other teams with 1 game mixed in, Claflin, which was a game already on the schedule before they decided to leave the SIAC. So we really got to refocus and finish out the year strong.
Starting with this MLK weekend, this afternoon against the Wildcats of Fort Valley, and Monday the Golden Rams of Albany State. They're traveling partners, both in Atlanta. Big weekend for the Maroon Tigers.
Yes, indeed. It's that same routine we get every year. Those 2 teams will come up and play the AUC home and home. They'll play against us, then they'll go down the street to play Clark. We need 2 victories, but there are 2 teams that we cannot look over because there are 2 teams that know us very well, and Fort Valley comes in here on a 2-game winning streak, so they've got their confidence high. The Maroon Tigers got to come out focused and play their ball.
Stage is set. Maroon Tigers getting set to host the Wildcats of Fort Valley. All the action just ahead here on the Maroon Tigers Sports Network.
Right now between the Maroon Tigers, and I talked to Omar Austin before the game, and he told me, I asked him about his rebounding. He's 5th in the nation in rebounding, rebounds per game, 7th in the nation in rebounds overall, and he said that he knows that's what the team lacks, so he's ready to help the team as we can. And I asked him why he didn't see him back in the game, any motivation. He said, yes, he knows it. This is his last ride. He's ready to play hard. Rise back to you.
Back live inside Forbes Arena, getting set for basketball action. Maroon Tigers getting set to host the Wildcats of Fort Valley State University. Glad you could join us for our coverage. Starting lineup is being introduced here inside Forbes by the PA announcer, David Downing. We'll start with the Wildcats of Fort Valley. They'll shake it up this way. Sean Fox-Brennan, the junior from Miami Gardens, Florida, will go at one of the guard positions. 13 points, 7 rebounds for Fox-Brennan. Cavante Williams, the junior from Marion, Alabama, goes at the other swing at guard position. 12 points per ball game and 4.9 rebounds for Williams per outing. Thomas Hardy, the junior from Gaffney, South Carolina, goes at the third guard position. 5 points for him and averaging just under 2 assists per ball game for the Wildcats. Jalen McMillan, that's one of the players for the Maroon Tigers went up to watch this afternoon. The senior from Stone Mountain, Georgia, leads the Wildcats in scoring 17.7 points per ball game, 3.5 rebounds, and 2.4 assists per contest for McMillan. And they'll round out their five with Brenton Clyette Jordan. Jordan, the junior from Macon, Georgia, 4 points, 5 rebounds for him. Wildcats at 4-15 overall and 3-5 in SIAC play, 4th in the East at this point, coached by Mark Sherrill, associate head coach Mr. Jerome Gibbons. And now, from Forbes, starting lineup for the Maroon Tigers from Morehouse College. A familiar group, Morehouse coming in at 13-2, and 7-2 in SIAC play, currently number 3 in the National Association of Basketball Coaches poll for this week. Morehouse, first in the East of the SIAC. They'll start it out this way at the swing to guard. It'll be the junior from Detroit, Michigan, Robert Andrews. Andrews, SIAC Player of the Week last week. 12 points per ball game for him, 2.6 rebounds per outing for the 6'3" junior from Detroit. Position, the junior from Atlanta, Keith Hurd, 6'9", 200 pounds. Hurd starting to come alive with the last 2 ball games for the Maroon Tigers. 3.5 points per ball game, 2.4 rebounds. Leading the charge for the Maroon Tigers out front, it's the point guard, the junior from Atlanta, from Campbell High School, Michael Omer. Omer at 5'9", 175 pounds. Second in the nation in assist at 7.9 per ball game, along with 10 points. And he also averages 1.9 steals per outing. At the swing position, it'll be the junior from Atlanta, Georgia, Tramel Glidden. Glidden just under 5 points per ball game, had a breakout ball game in the last 1.9 rebounds on the season, but 17 points in the loss to Benedict. And rounding out the 5 for the Maroon Tigers is the senior from Waldorf, Maryland, Omar Austin. Austin leading in a lot of categories for the Maroon Tigers. 9th in scoring in the conference at 15.2 points per ball game, but he's 5th in the nation in rebounds per average per game, and he's 7th in the nation in total rebounds with 168, 3.6 assists. And Tucker, you talked about him in the pregame. He's just doing what's asked of his team. So the Maroon Tigers, coached by Grady Brewer. Coach Brewer in his 19th season, 292 wins, 224 losses. And we're going to talk more about Coach Brewer as his ball game progresses. And the challenge, the people that he's chasing are the legends here at Morehouse College in Frank Forbes and Arthur J. McAfee. Set for basketball action, John Ewald, Cassie Braggs, and Eric Terrain with the play call here. Afternoon basketball on a Saturday, rainy Saturday here in Atlanta. Morehouse trying to shake the blues from the loss on Monday as they meet the Wildcats at Fort Valley.
Well, Charles and Tucker, I'm ready to go. You're talking about your boy Omar. When I saw him this week on campus, I walked right up to him and I quoted my man Ice Cube. Last week, messed around and got a triple-double. Had to give him congratulations.
Half court set, we get started with the Wildcats handling their end of the floor. Just underway.
Maroon Tigers in the road maroon jerseys today and the crisp new black tennis shoes.
Jump shot out front. This is by Clyette Jordan. Jordan's off the mark. Morehouse with their first crack at it on offense. Austin, left side Andrews, pushing back up top to Omar. Now to the entry pass. Left corner. Hurd, soft jumper there. Tigers, good start there.
Spoke to Coach Brewer yesterday in his office. He talked about his starting lineup, how much he is very happy with the progress Keith Hurd has made, especially hitting that little fadeaway jumper to his real spot on the floor.
Hurd injured in the early part of the season, didn't get a whole lot of minutes, but as we referenced, starting to up the minutes per ball game right now at 9 per contest and starting here this afternoon. Shot on the half-court set for the Wildcats off the mark, but they'll get another look here.
And we both know we know that Hurd has experience from playing last season. He did get some big minutes last season.
Absolutely.
Wyatt Jordan, foul on extended right side, ties the ball game up. His first two of the ball game for Fort Valley. Steal in the backcourt by the Wildcats. With the flush up the baseline. That's nicely done there by Thomas Hardy.
I wasn't expecting him to get up on that one like that. He threw it down.
Lazy pass in the backcourt by Omar Austin. We don't see him do that very much, so we got to get tight on those turnovers.
Gooden handles out front. We're at 18-20 left first half. 4-2 lead for Fort Valley. Underneath Omar, trying to push it back out to Trammell. 10 to shoot now for the Maroon Tigers. Across the floor, Andrews, head fake, hard push. He'll take the jumper there. Nicely done. At the last minute, looked like he was going to pass that ball, but collected himself and fired it to the cylinder and knocked it down.
Well, this offensive lineup for the Maroon Tigers is very strong. Andrews, of course, like you said, the Raymond Player of the Week. He really had a great contest on the road when he had those games where he was perfect from the three-point line.
Fox Brennan fouled at the baseline. He will go to the free throw line to shoot for Fort Valley. Andrews, over that two-game set, averaged 19 points per ball game, 1.5 rebounds to earn the SIAC Player of the Week. And again on Monday night against the Tigers of Benedict, had 12 points in that ball game. So he too starting to come alive for the Maroon Tigers, particularly given the way that the season started for him with that tragic death of his younger brother.
Yes, he's definitely still thinking about him, but maybe even playing for him as he thinks about it. I was talking to assistant coach Douglas Whitley. He said he's great to see the offensive game. The only thing he wants Robert to concentrate on, he says, I should be getting 6-7 rebounds a night out of that young man. We'll see if he can help get on those boards. Somebody's got to help Omar on the boards.
Fox Brennan good with both free throws. And
speaking about him, and there he goes. Scores his second basket in a row.
Give him 5 early in this first half of basketball. Fox Wyatt Jordan now out front. Austin pushing out on defense. Now Williams handles. Left side behind the arc, firing a jumper. The rimmer stays good for Fox Brennan from outside. So Fox Brennan showing some wear on the inside and behind the perimeter.
Well, so far, both teams are shooting the ball well from the floor, but unfortunately, Maroon Tigers will turn it over again. Their second turnover here in the early goings.
High pace intensity at this point right now, forcing the 2 turnovers by Morehouse.
So far, this thing is going back and forth between both of the teams.
9-7 lead for Fort Valley. Fort Valley, as you referenced, Eric, on that 2-game win streak. And they're starting to come around down in Middle Georgia.
Put up 105 against Spring Hill. A closer game against Albany State, which we all would expect when they play each other. It's closer in the football field, it's closer in the basketball court.
McMillan had a 3-pointer there that rattled out for the Wildcats. Down in the block, Austin. Now left corner, Andrews again for 3. Count it again.
You see, Dr. Andrews is just so talented offensively. The first shot was a difficult shot where he had to square up and get his body right, and he's hit it. His second shot was an open 3, and you see on that one was just a straight pull-up. He's so talented offensively.
Here comes Gooden with a steal, 2-on-1. Gooden to the rack, right side, good finish.
Andrews was giving him the signal to throw the alley-oop, but I see Trammell saw that daylight and said, I'm going right for this one.
Back the other way now. Wildcats in traffic. They throw it away and out of bounds. So basketball, no, they say it's going to stay with Fort Valley. Got a break there.
One other point I want to bring up when I talked with Coach Brewer yesterday, he said, what I'm happy to see this week in practice is the Maroon Tigers refocusing on their roles. We mentioned how Trammell Gooden had a great offensive game against Benedict, but we still lost. He's our defensive guy. He said, I don't want you to get used to scoring all these points. It's great when you can do it, but remember what I got you here for. You're here to be my stopper. We'll see how we do with our roles today.
Half-court set for the Wildcats now. Out front is Williams. Right side and slicing through is McMillan. Dumped it down low, but the Maroon Tigers take it away. Here comes Omar with the quick step. Left side, left corner again, Andrews. This time he elects to pass it out front. Morehouse with a 12-9 lead. As Cairo Whitfield just on the floor trying to run it down in the right corner. The 6'7" junior from Atlanta not able to do it. With 15:43 remaining, we come to our first time out, but Morehouse leading at 12-9. Welcome back inside Forbes Arena. MLK weekend basketball action. Maroon Tigers hosting the Wildcats of Fort Valley. More MLK action coming your way on the holiday on Monday when the Maroon Tigers host the Golden Rams of Albany State. 3 o'clock start there. Alley-oop fails for the Wildcats and back the other way over. He misses the Whitfield there to the backside rebound. Back for his first 2 of the ball game.
Great defense by the Maroon Tigers led to that fast break opportunity, Charles, as they forced a turnover for Fort Valley.
Half-court set for the Wildcats. Foul on extended easy jumper there by Thomas Carney to knock it down for Fort Valley. 14-11, Morehouse leads. Wildcats go into a half-court trap. Olmert handles that over to Andrews. Now Whitten behind the arc. Left side, Andrews trying to get it inside. James Walker out on the floor. He'll handle it. Foul on extended. Leads back with the jumper and left it short. Williams clears for Fort Valley.
No one on the offensive glass from the Maroon Tigers. We got to get somebody down low looking for offensive rebounds. But another turnover by Fort Valley will give Morehouse the ball back.
Javede Ebenham on the floor now for the Maroon Tigers. Ebenham, the sophomore from Landon, Maryland. 6 points in Monday's ball game, 10 points per ball game, 2.8 rebounds he averages for the Maroon Tigers. Andrews, left corner, Shabazze.
Look at the offensive firepower on the floor right now for Morehouse with Andrews and Shabazze out there at the same time.
Left block Whitfield. Now to Andrews for 3 again. This one's off the mark. Rebound fought for underneath. Walker had a hand on it, but taken away by Clyde Jordan for the Wildcats. Down at the block, good body control in on the lay-in is Cavante Williams for Fort Valley. This bucket makes it a 1-point lead. Morehouse still with that lead and the basketball.
The Maroon Tigers have stretched their lead out to 5 or 6, and Fort Valley comes out and runs off 4 straight.
Over across the floor now to Ebenham. Andrews behind the arc. 6 to shoot. Shabazze pushes up top to Olmert. Olmert slices through. They left him alone, and he makes him pay for it.
So patient within that offense, just letting the lane open itself, and he gets through and scores the bucket.
Time to answer the little Wildcats do. They got it inside. Williams missed on the lay-in, but Clyde Jordan able to finish with the flush.
Robert Andrews really affected that layup, but they did get the putback. But there's Michael Olmert again, 2 times down the floor, straight to the hole.
So slithery in there, guys. So slithery.
18-15 Morehouse leads after the basket by Olmert on the inside. We're down to 13 minutes left first half. Walking off of a screen is McMillan. Had a good look, couldn't finish it. Walker finishes with the rebound for the Maroon Tigers. Ebenham now on the move at the rack, left side. Clyde Jordan challenging on the inside, and we got a whistle. Got to send Shabazze to the line for Morehouse. Ebenham, leading free throw shooter for the Maroon Tigers at 73%, 38-52 coming into the ball game. That's the good news. The bad news for the Maroon Tigers in that category, they continue the lag in the conference from the free throw line.
Same as last year, Charles. But a great aggressive move by Shabazze, went to his left, got the contact. He's at the line, hit that first one. You know, we talked about, we got Shabazze and Andrews on the floor at the same time as Robert takes a seat. We're forgetting about James Walker. We know what he can do when he gets going offensively.
So right now, Austin coming back out. Whitfield going to take a seat. So it's James Walker, Omar Austin, Shabazze Ebenham. And it looks like Monique Kennedy getting some playing time now, the freshman from Toronto, Canada.
And our backup point guard is in the game as well.
Yeah. So a rotating look there for the Maroon Tigers. Not only in the new uniforms and the new shoes, but new faces early on here. And then we get the 10-second violation.
We got a timeout. No, we got a timeout.
Before that, 12:41 left in the first half. They're forced to burn one there. We'll step out as well. Back live inside Forbes Arena after the timeout. Wildcats with the basketball. Morehouse leads it by 5. Williams pushes down at the block to Clyde Jordan. He's doubled there, but got it airborne. Missed on the shot. They fight for it at the block. And it'll stay with Fort Valley. Out on the floor now for the Wildcats of Fort Valley is Andrew Ziegler. Ziegler, the freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina. Williams pushes out front to McMillan. McMillan, their leading scorer, quiet so far in this first half.
Yeah, but we all know what he can do. In last year's contest, all 3 times he played the Maroon Tigers, he was a big contributor for Fort Valley as they get a layup right there at the shot clock buzzer.
Worked it inside, and Clyde Jordan able to finish. 2017, Morehouse leads. Ebenham, Walker, Kendall handles over to Kennedy. Now entry pass into Austin in traffic, almost thrown away. 11 to shoot. Kennedy fires, missed on the 3-point shot. Rebound cleared at the block now by D'Angelo Strickland, who's on the floor for Coach Sorrell and the Wildcats. Underneath, shot by Ziegler. Knocked out of bounds. It'll go over to the Maroon Tigers. Tough work down low by Morehouse to deny that shot. They'll get rewarded with the basketball on the other side of the timeout. 11:45 left. Morehouse leads. Back live at Forbes Arena. MLK Weekend Basketball. Morehouse hosting the Wildcats of Fort Valley. Kendall Walker, the senior guard for Morehouse, handling out front. Right side to the sophomore, Shepeze Ebenham. Now top of the key, Malik Kennedy. 14 to shoot for Morehouse in this half-court set. Walker trying to get it inside to Austin if they can. Now 7 to shoot for Morehouse. Pushes left side, Ebenham. Shot rejected. Good defensive work there by Strickland. Got a second opportunity at the buzzer, but missed on the shot. Good job there by Shepeze not to quit on that after the early block by Strickland.
But Charles, we've got to credit Fort Valley. That's great defense, and now a big 3 on the other end ties this contest up.
The senior, Jalen McMillan, the guy that we want to keep quiet in this first half with his first basket. Kennedy challenges, right side floater. Good by the freshman.
Great extension by that right hand. Hung up in the air and got that teardrop to go down.
Ziegler trying to push it in the corner, tapped out of bounds by Morehouse. It'll stay with Fort Valley as Robert Andrews and Michael Holbert report back to the floor for Morehouse. Tramel Gooden set to come back out as well.
Well, Charles, I'll tell you, this is actually the 3rd time we've seen Fort Valley this year, as we saw them in those 2 games early in the little tournament that we had here in Morehouse. They have really improved over their 19 contests.
Certainly a different looking team than what we saw early on. Out front, McMillan fires again from 3-point range. Misses. Olmert chases it down. Michael, quick step across the timeline. Over to Andrews. Now he'll push it to good. At the block, Walker. Inside, and a whistle.
What great court vision by Michael Olmert. Got that rebound straight ahead, full pace, looking up to get his Maroon Tigers into an offensive set.
Foul going against Cavante Williams for Fort Valley with 10:23 remaining and Morehouse leading 22-20. Holbert out front. 16 to shoot. Andrews surveys. Morehouse, the leading team in the conference in field goal percentage, as Gooden challenges left side, now 2 to shoot. Over the violation here. Once Gooden started toward the basket and he ran into that double team inside, didn't have a chance to get it airborne.
Well, that'll be the 4th turnover by the Maroon Tigers. They had those 2 quick ones early, and they've kind of cleaned up their play here. As we're at halfway through the first half, Charles, we've got a pretty good contest on our hands.
Wildcats winners of their last 2 ball games. Morehouse, national rankings, tied for 3rd in steals with averaging 21 per ball game, and a whistle there. Far side of the floor, just in front of the Morehouse bench. It's going to go against Olmert for the Maroon Tigers.
Michael thought he got pushed off and maybe caught a little elbow in the face, but he's got to give that offensive player room to come down. He got a little bit too close to him. That's why the foul went against him.
Eric, I was about to say, Olmert did not agree with that call.
Not at all. He did. He caught the contact, but it was his bad positioning that called the foul.
McMillan penetrates left side, and he gets his second basket of the first half. So tied at 22 now. Andrews behind the arc. He'll raise, fire, and drops it for the Maroon Tigers.
It looks so pretty when it leaves his hands.
And this side of the floor is his sweet spot. You saw that only shot that he missed was sort of from the top of the key, but he shot that one on this left side of the floor and he hit it. That's his sweet spot.
And we go back the other way. This time McMillan's guilty of the offensive foul, so Morehouse will have the basketball.
Illegal screen called there, so turnover number 3 for Fort Valley. Maroon Tigers back on top by 3. Let's see if we can get another basket.
Holman across the timeline. Morehouse also 7th in the nation in defensive field goal percent defending with his 38% conversion for the opposition. So Morehouse continuing to rank highly in the nation in certain categories and leading the conference in almost every offensive category there is other than from the free throw line. Inside, Gooden had it stripped away. McMillan comes clear with it over to Ziegler. Left side slicing, that's Williams and a whistle.
Offensive against Fort Valley. Great defensive position by Michael Allman taking the charge.
And Ulmer got the call he was looking for on the previous play.
Yeah. So Morehouse will take it back after Williams is guilty of the offensive foul. 3-point lead for the Maroon Tigers. Morehouse coming off the loss on Monday, 89-83 against Benedict. That broke their 9-game win streak as Andrews misses from outside and the basketball back over to Fort Valley.
And I know that shot didn't go in, but you can see he's feeling it. He's pulling it up now.
Leon Perry, the sophomore, out on the floor now for Coach Terrell and the Wildcats. Morehouse in that full court pressure now, leading it by 3. Perry. Oh, they turn it over.
You know, Charles, you talk about the loss we took over there in South Carolina. Coach Brewer said that he kind of felt it when they were warming up against Benedict. The team just wasn't focused as they needed to be. And he said part of him started to bring them together and say, guys, refocus. But he said, no, I'm going to sit back here and see how they come out and find out what's going on with them. He said they really just weren't ready to play. Maybe they read a few of their press clippings. You never know. Sure. But he said it was great to take a loss, get them refocused, and get this train going right back in the right direction.
Half-court set a foul called there against Morehouse. Non-shooting foul, so the Wildcats will inbound the basketball.
Only
correction, it's going to be.
No, it's only 2 team fouls against the Maroon Tigers.
No, that's going to be Morehouse's basketball. It'll be Ebenham in the corner to inbound it for Morehouse. Does so to Walker in traffic, and he threw it away.
Just a little bit too high for James as Fort Valley runs this break.
Down the floor, inside Fox running the whistle inside the paint. They're going to go the other way. Another charge call.
Michael Ulmer again, getting the position in the paint and taking the contact. Smallest man on the court, not afraid to have a little contact.
So Ulmer with some good work on the defensive end of the floor.
But Charles,
55 left first half.
Maroon Tigers have been stuck on 25 now in the last 3 trips down the floor. We need to see a ball go through the net.
Ebenham left corner up top to Andrews now. Now over to Walker. Back to Andrews. On the weave, Chabeze. Entry pass Austin. Omar pushes. Ulmer traveled with the basketball. That's a good call there by John Ewald. Pucci there just in front of behind Michael, and Michael took the baby step.
Yeah, he did. It was a clean call by the official. Michael Ullman knew it.
Back live here on the Maroon Tigers Sports Network. Morehouse basketball. Maroon Tigers hosting the Wildcats of Fort Valley. 7:35 left first half. Morehouse by 3, 25-22. Right now, Morehouse from the floor at 58%, 10 of 17 shooting, and a perfect 2 of 2 from the free throw line.
But boy, don't those 2 free throws seem like an eternity ago?
Sure. Tucker, too, just from behind the bench of Morehouse after the timeout. Tucker, what you find out from Coach Brewer?
And Coach Brewer has some words for his guys. He said, we're not playing with a sense of urgency at all. We got to be aggressive in the middle. And he told his bigs they got to sprint back to the block. And he said he's seen too many guys standing around. He just wants to see his guys play with a sense of urgency, Charles.
Homer dishes at the block. Chabeze, nice pass across the floor, but Walker can't handle it. And the Wildcats will get the basketball back.
And even though that's a turnover, that's what you call a good turnover. He was aggressive going to the hole and tried to dish it to the open man. You clean that up, that's an easy layup.
6:58 left first half. Fort Valley with the basketball. Morehouse leading 25-22. On the weave, now that's Perry handling the basketball. Inside the paint. They dump it down at the block. Clyde Jordan. Jordan fights his way over Chavez, and he got the basket.
Big 6'6" guy down there just going to work. He is a great contributor for them.
Back the other way. What a hard tumble there on the inside. Andrews airborne, and McMillan underneath. Robert seems to be okay.
Coach Sherrill is asking him,
meeting with the referees.
Yeah, they're trying to see who saw what. He wanted to charge. We got a blocking call called up front.
6:09 remains first half. Coach Sherrill peering into that officiating conference there.
Well, the official up top made the call quickly, but technically it wasn't his call to make. It was a play that happened in the paint. So the official down low on the baseline would have saw that call. So that's what Coach Sherrill is asking. Why are you making that call so far away from the action?
McMillan, the senior for Fort Valley, going to be hit with the foul. And Robert Andrews will be at the line shooting for the Maroon Tigers.
Coach Sherrill came away with a smile on his face. I guess whatever he heard, he's okay with.
Andrews, 11 points in this first half, 4 of 6 from the floor, 3 of 5 from behind the arc, and knocks down the free throw there.
And I don't know about you guys, but the way Robert Andrews took off, it looked like he was pretty high on that.
I thought he was going to do a full flip there as high as he was.
Yeah, the way he took off, he got pretty high.
Gooden back out on the floor, and so is Keith Hurd for the Maroon Tigers. Andrews with another coming from the free throw line. Rimmer spins off the mark. Wildcats with the rebound. First miss from the line for Morehouse in the basketball game. McMillan trying to work at the right side. Homer chasing that play down from behind. He and Keith Hurd, they knock it out of bounds. Good search there by Morehouse to stay on that play defensively.
That's twice now. We've seen the Maroon Tigers poke the ball away from behind. Each time it goes out of bounds, but still that makes you start looking in the back of your head for eyes sooner or later.
Turnover, Morehouse back the other way. Omer going to be fouled, or either the basketball went out of bounds. I think it'll be Morehouse's basketball, but no foul called on that one.
And you see the Maroon Tigers taking that timeout to heart, what Coach Brewer said. He said he wants to see his guys play with a sense of urgency, and on those last 2 defensive possessions, they were able to poke the ball away.
Well, that's Maroon Tiger basketball. Force turnovers and get quality offensive looks.
Hurd on the entry pass, taken away by the Wildcats. They got a 3-on-1. Left side they go to the rack. Easy lay-in there by Hardy. Nicely done by the Wildcats there in a 3-on-1 transition. 26-26 the score now. 5:40 left first half. Good first half of basketball. Morehouse trying to bounce back after that 3-1 road trip. Loss on Monday night. First in the East. Rimmer down at the block off the mark. That was Omar trying to get it there. Left it on the cylinder.
And that's something you don't see too often from Omar Austin. Missing it that easy at the rim.
Out front, this is Perry handling.
And all of a sudden, Fort Valley is looking to take the lead, which will be, their first lead of the day if they get a basket?
I think they may have had one early on.
Yeah, no, they had a 2-point lead at 9-7.
Up top, they try to bounce pass. Jenkins had it taken away. Austin on the floor, up to Oba, 2-on-1. Back to Andrews, and they toss it away. Wildcats back the other way. They've got numbers, 4-on-3, and Hurd trying to catch up with the play. Commits the foul from behind.
Not a bad foul at all by Keith Hurd. He actually slowed down what would be a fast break opportunity for Fort Valley. Now Morehouse will be able to set up their defense.
You could see Austin was upset after he had hustled and dove on the floor for that ball, and that his teammates weren't able to convert.
McMillan to inbound it just to the right of our broadcast table. new Maroon Tiger Sports Network broadcast table.
I don't know, it's about a year old now. We've broken this bad boy in pretty good.
Yeah. Get as old as I am, just a year is not much of a off shot there by the Wildcats. Maroon Tigers back the other way. We're knotted at 26.
Kendall Walker got back in the game just that quick as Michael will take a little breather. Michael was really trying to get the Maroon Tigers going, penetrating addition. We just got to get some shots to go down.
Walker circles back to the outside. Now entry pass to Hurd. Quick bank shot by him, but the bank's closed. The rebound comes clear to Strickland for the Wildcats. Carey works his way back toward the mid-stripe.
Fellas, we've got a good crowd here on a Saturday afternoon at Forbes Arena as they're still following in.
McMillan fires the jumper left cylinder. Basketball over to Morehouse. Good crowd indeed here on a Saturday afternoon. Timeout on the floor, tied at 26 back after the break.
Morehouse Healthcare is your source of wellness and health.
Maroon Tigers Athletics is proud to announce the launch of the official Morehouse College Athletics online store. Make sure to visit www.shoptigersbeer.com and show your Morehouse pride. Again, visit www.shoptigersbeer.com. 3:52 left first half, tied at 26 apiece. Maroon Tigers hosting the Wildcats of Fort Valley. And after the timeout, it's the senior Kendall Walker handling the rock for the Maroon Tigers.
Well, we want to finish strong in the first half. We are under 4 minutes to go. We want to go inside, get some easy baskets, and take a lead into the locker room.
Austin dish inside to Walker in traffic. Wildcats trying to tie it up, and they took it away. Jump ball going to be called. This one will keep it with the Maroon Tigers. So Austin trying to dump it inside to James Walker, but the spacing just not there. Allow the Wildcats to get a hand on it, but Malik Kennedy will be able to inbound it for the Maroon Tigers. 7 to shoot for Morehouse.
And as both of you mentioned before the half, the Maroon Tigers use this crowd to their advantage.
Walker wraps a jump shot right side for the basket for the Maroon Tigers. Answered there before the buzzer. So Morehouse with a 28-26 lead now. McMillan squares on Andrews, raises, fires a three-pointer, Rempers off the mark. There's the rebound, Omar Austin trying to lead a break, but he threw it in traffic. Somehow comes back to him. Andrews for three, can't convert.
Man, that would have been very pretty there. He saved that turnover and could have got an assist on that play.
Strickland with the rebound for the Wildcats instead. We go under 3 minutes left now. At the post, this is Clyde Jordan. Give it back to him, Omar guarding. Slide pass to McMillan at the block. The whistles, and he will be going to the line for Fort Valley. McMillan at 17.7 points per ball game, second in the conference in scoring. And now the Wildcats are starting to heavily involve him almost every trip down on the offensive end.
You know, you say he's got 17.7, second in the conference in scoring. Just goes to show you what a remarkable year Tyrus Walker had last year, scoring 26 points a game leading the SIAC.
Miller missed on the first of two there. Fort Valley on the season, 11th in the conference in free throw shooting. It's just 65% as McMillan goes 1 of 2 that trip down the floor. Morehouse by 1 point. Right side, Kennedy. Now James Walker's been quiet. He'll push at the baseline and threw it, hit the cylinder, but somehow it comes to Omar. And Omar tied up by Hardy, and Omar's wincing a bit there as Hardy's called for the foul.
If I recall correctly, that's the first play I've seen James Walker sort of on the perimeter in today's game. He's been playing more down low in the short corner.
Well, you know, James is upset that he didn't get a foul called on his behalf, but he was actually very close to pushing off offensively. Good thing for the Maroon Tigers that we're in the bonus now. Omar hit into the free throw line.
As you see Coach Brewer talking to James down near the Morehouse sideline after that contact down at the block. Austin trying to pull a steal off here at the sideline, not able to catch up with it though. It'll stay with Fort Valley.
Well, Omar missed that front end of that 1-and-1.
They're trying to get in on the defensive set for Morehouse. He's able to do that before play starts as Andrews takes a seat.
Xavier Brewer on the floor for the Maroon Tigers, the first action he's seen so far today.
Out front with the basketball. This is Hardy now. He'll survey. Kennedy squaring up on defensive him. On the weave. This time it's Perry taking a look at the block in traffic, and they throw it away. They get it down low there to Clyde Jordan, and the turnover gives it back to Morehouse. We go 1 to 2 minutes left first half. Morehouse by the single point.
A tight contest has been for most of this first half. No team really extending any lead anywhere near double digits.
I think Morehouse led by as many as 5 in that first half, and not much more.
That's right, 20 to 15 was the biggest lead the Maroon Tigers had.
Brewer out front now to Kennedy. 9 to shoot. Brewer left side with the jumper. The freshman got to get knocks it down. Nice ball movement by Morehouse. Very patient that trip down the floor. Back the other way. No patience there. Strickland with an easy flush.
And there you see the learning lessons of a freshman. He hit the basket on the offensive end, but was a little slow getting back on defense because that was his man that got that flush.
That's a great point, Eric. You saw the high arcing shot that he was able to make, but you got to sprint back and get your man on D.
That's right.
Left block Brewer now. Entry pass Omar. Nice spin. And McMillan backside. They're going to call the foul on Hardy instead.
Right, because that would have been the third on McMillan. I was waiting to see who they gave that to.
61 seconds left first half. The senior from Maryland to the free throw line for Morehouse.
What a move by Austin. That spin move got him free, and he was able to create contact.
Got to start cashing on these free throws. Got to start it.
Austin at this point scoreless in the ball game. Second and 2 here for Omar. That one looks off, and it is off.
That looked long from when it left his hand.
A rebound to McMillan and Fort Valley with less than a minute remaining. They can claim a lead here with a basket. McMillan, hard push left side, lost it on the court. Rebound to Morehouse. They'll push it right side, Kennedy. Back out, Kimball Walker now.
Really pull it back out. We were a little bit out of sync. We didn't have good matchup there on that fast break, so let's pull it out and run a play.
33 seconds left in the half. 14 to shoot for Morehouse. Austin back to Kendall. Kendall free, wraps the three, and knocks it down. Big job there by Kendall Walker, the senior.
If Fort Valley can hold for the last shot, if they don't turn the ball over.
Turned it over right there. Half-court violation by them, backcourt. So it'll be Morehouse's basketball with 13 left first half. Timeout on the floor. Morehouse with a chance to convert a basket before the half expires here. They need it 33-29. Last couple of minutes has been the difference for Morehouse. Last couple of trips down the floor is able to give them a little bit of space here on the scoreboard.
Well, we finally saw a few shots go down, but right now I want to talk about this great strategic timeout call by Coach Grady Brewer. The one thing Coach Brewer knows after 19 years of the sideline is great game management. I hear a lot of teams talk about how important game management is. We all know that if he doesn't use that timeout, that's the one that he'll lose going into the second half. We've said that many times before. He calls the timeout 13 seconds before the half. I bet you will come out with a great quality play here and get a good shot at the basket.
13 seconds left before the break. 33-29, Morehouse with the lead. It'll be Robert Andrews going down to just the broadcast table. Andrews, Kendall Walker, Omar Austin, Xavier Brewer, and Malik Kennedy on the floor. Walker, they're trying to sit screen it for Andrews if they can. He's got to get it airborne now. If he can, 4 to shoot. Entry pass Brewer, he's double there. Wildcats took it away. So they had 13 to work with, but could not get the spacing they needed to get a shot before the buzzer. At the break though, back live inside Forbes Arena at the timeout. The intermission, 33-29, Morehouse leads it. Eric, a first half of basketball that was nipped and tucked all the way. Morehouse led by as many as 5. but got tighter and tighter as we went, and luckily at the end of that first half, got some break there, a couple of good trips down the floor to get the lead going in.
Well, you got to credit Fort Valley. Fort Valley has come to play today. They're not looking at records or rankings. They're looking at, let's go out here and play basketball. And that's going to what the Maroon Tigers are going to face everywhere they go. That number 3 ranking puts a bullseye smack dead on your back, and you want to get each team's best game when they show up to play you.
And in addition to that, we referenced it in the pregame, is that there's only a 4-game difference between the number 1 Maroon Tigers and the number 5 Lions of Payne College on the east side. So everybody on that side of the conference really recognizes that if you can get things going in the second half with only about 8 ball games left for Morehouse, and some of the other teams with a little bit less than that remaining on their schedule, they know they could chart their own fate here in the second half.
Absolutely. You want to be playing your best basketball leading into February and going into March. And you get a couple wins here in your conference, that means you'll get a better seeding for your tournament and maybe have a worse, maybe you get that first day off, which is what most teams want. We had that last year. Fort Valley played in that first game, and when we saw them on day 2, maybe their legs were a little tired.
They got a break here. It's like 20 minutes on the clock to decide who's going to win this ball game. Morehouse leading it 33-29 over the Wildcats of Fort Valley. Morehouse back in action here on Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock against the Golden Rams of Albany State on this MLK weekend. Tucker.
And at the half, I was able to catch up with Coach Whitler, and I asked him what did he want to see from his team in the second half, and he said, I need to see toughness, ball pressure, and communication. He said whenever they have all of those 3 locked down, the team is playing well, and they're playing their best basketball.
Getting set for second half action now. Wildcats will have it first.
And Tucker and Charles, when they want to go to toughness, they insert Cairo Whitfield into the second half starting lineup.
So it's Gooden, Andrews, Austin, Olmert, and Whitfield as Fox Brennan fires a 3-pointer right at the beginning of the second half and knocks it down for Fort Valley.
And what a way to start the second half. This should be exciting, fellas.
Andrews to Olmert. Now back to Robert. Entry pass, Austin. Gooden, right corner, on the move now. Slides pass inside, nicely done here. Omar with the basket. Decision by Tramel Gooden at the block.
And you know Omar Austin's happy to see that first basket go in for him on the afternoon.
Back the other way, whistles as Hardy penetrates the paint into the Wildcats of Fort Valley.
And we have to give Tramel Gooden some credit. His playmaking ability is great for not being, an offensive player. He's more of a defensive player, and he has great playmaking ability.
But he made a great decision. He got the ball in that corner, but he knows he's not a 3-point shooter, so he drove in, defense collapsed on him, and he dished it to the open defender.
Hardy misses on the first of 2 from the line for Fort Valley. Wildcats in the first 20 minutes of play, 3 of 4 from the free throw line at 75%. Hardy finished the first half at 6 points.
He missed them both.
Both from the line there. Andrews back the other way in the corner. He draws a crowd, tries to push it back out front to Olmert, and he's bumped there by Cavante Williams. So Williams picks it up. That's going to be his third. 19 minutes and 11 seconds left in the basketball game.
He gives that look of disapproval over to the official, but it's nothing that he can say. He got in the air, he was out of control, and he made collision with the offensive player.
Andrews in the corner, misses on the 3-point shot, and the Wildcats throw it right away. A careless pass there right over to Cairo Whitfield. Andrews, half-court set now. Back to Olmert, and they almost throw that one away. Olmert bounced pass, and he did throw that one away. That leads to a break for the Wildcats, and an easy flush there by Cavante Williams.
And on that previous possession, that was a missed opportunity by the Maroon Tigers. Looked like Robert Andrews caught the defense slipping on that inbound pass, but he just was unable to come up with the shot.
Morehouse by a point now. Olmert out front. Behind the arc, he'll fire the 3-pointer there. Remmers off the mark, tapped around, and comes clear to Fort Valley, but Omar Austin there to take it away. Omar inside the paint, didn't have any help there. He'll turn it up a quick jumper there and missed it.
It was those long elastic arms that got that offensive rebound and the second chance opportunity. He was just a little too open down there. He was looking for a little help offensively, and he turned around and shot that 5-foot shot a little hard.
Half-court set for the Wildcats. Now jumper by Fox Brennan off the mark. Rebound to Morehouse. They go back the other way. Andrews bounce pass Whitfield. Whitfield in traffic to Omar. Right corner, Gooden's free. He's on the move to the rack. Nicely done by Terrell Good. Saw the lane, took it, and he got the basket. Back the other way, the floater inside is off by Fox Brennan. Austin chases it down. Here come the Maroon Tigers now. Quick step Omar.
But it was Cairo Whitfield who went up strong for that defensive rebound, and now a good drive by Gooden on the offensive end.
And like we talked about during the break, Eric, the Tigers need help on the boards, and you said Cairo Whitfield brings toughness, but he also brings rebounding for the Maroon Tigers.
So Gooden at the line to shoot now. 17 minutes, 23 seconds left in the ball game. Gooden brings the first free throw good as Keith Hurd comes out on the floor now for Morehouse. He'll replace Cairo Whitfield in the lineup. 38-34, Morehouse leading it. And one more free throw coming to the junior from Atlanta, Tremel Gooden. Second shot's off the mark. Rebound cleared by Fox Brennan and the Wildcats.
You know, Charles, I'm going to take a second. We always give a shout out to the Allman families. They come out to support. We really need to give Tremel Gooden's family some love. They are here week in and week out. Several members of his family are always here to support the Maroon Tigers. So thank you to them for coming out and supporting us.
Williams with the miss. Olmert back the other way and a whistle. And we're going back the other way. Basketball out of play over the cylinder. So Fort Valley with the basketball. And an opportunity to just piggyback on what you're saying about both of those families. That there are a lot of players on this team that have a lot of support. And we extend even beyond just the families of the players. The alumni base here at Morehouse College always supporting this basketball team. Exciting year last year. And look at this crowd here on a Saturday afternoon, on a rainy Saturday afternoon.
That old saying, you win, they will come.
Absolutely. This program's starting to resonate with the entire city of Atlanta as McMillan spins on the jumper and knocks it down for the Wildcats.
And fellas, we can't forget, school is back in session. So everybody's coming back to the games and, you know, interested in seeing what's the Maroon Tiger basketball team doing
Keith Hurd, and Hurd knocked down that jumper. The one you talked about in that first half, Chuck, where he finds that spot on the floor. This time a little bit deeper in the corner to knock that one down.
Yep, that wasn't necessarily short corner, but you see him down there near that baseline, and he likes to square up, and once he does, he's knocking it down.
40-36, Morehouse leads. Half-court set for Fort Valley now. Wyatt Jordan in traffic. Morehouse scrambling to the floor. Now a whistle. Jump ball is away up the Maroon Tigers. 15:59 left. Timeout on the floor. Back live at Forbes Arena, Morehouse with a 40-36 lead over the Wildcats of Fort Valley. SIAC basketball, MLK weekend. Glad you could spend some of your weekend with us on the Maroon Tigers Sports Network. After the timeout, Olmert handles for the Maroon Tigers in a half-court set. Right side, Gooden's got some space with the jumper. Missed on that one, but Andrew Fair with the acrobatic putback, not able to put it down. Stuck it between the cylinder and the backboard.
The house was going to explode if that one went down.
See that go over Fort Valley.
Yeah. That wedgie kind of fooled a lot of people. Thought he actually flushed it there, but you know, the Forbes Arena is always ready to erupt.
Yes. Williams now for Fort Valley. Gives it over to Fox Brennan. They work a weave now as Hardy handles.
Maroon jerseys all around him as he gets it back up top, and they're going to reset 10 seconds here on the shot clock.
Williams handles inside the paint. Right hand floater by him. Well, that's nicely done with the clock winding down. The junior from Alabama got the basket.
With the long arms of Keith Hurd flying his way, he still got it to go down.
And we've talked a lot about McMillan, but Williams has been patient and had some nice buckets here today in this game.
Absolutely.
Austin out front now. He'll push it left side all the way through with the left hand. The Maroon Tigers got underneath that defense and got the space for the lay-in. 42-38 after Omar's basket. Left corner now. This is Hardy with the basketball. Up top, Foxbrennan. We're at 14:35 left in the contest. Morehouse trying to push to 14-2 on the season. Bounce pass in the corner. Foxbrennan on Austin. Head fake. Omar stays put. Foxbrennan fires and he missed. They both chase forward at the baseline. It'll go off of Foxbrennan and over to Morehouse.
We're going to have a foul call against Fort Valley, number 2. Is that Foxbrennan? So we'll be possession Maroon Tigers.
D'Angelo Strickland trying to get out on the floor now for the Wildcats. He will do so. He will replace, that's Perry that took the seat there for the Wildcats. So half-court set now for the Maroon Tigers. Austin, right side. Slide pass in the corner to Gooden. Now Omar handles, draws the double team, got it to Keith Hurd. Hurd, right-hand floater, missed on the first, but there for the putback, and got the basket.
A great second jump by that young man to get that offensive rebound and offensive putback. The Maroon Tigers now stretch it out to 6, their biggest lead all day long.
They call him Spider-Man, and he showed it there. Good alley-oop touch pass on the inside to Strickland to answer for Fort Valley. 44-40, Morehouse with the lead and basketball. Wildcats have dropped into a 2-3 zone now. Austin pushes left side. Andrews behind the arc for 3. Spinners off the mark. Had a good look. It wouldn't stay down.
And Andrews hasn't been able to find his touch that he had in the first half so far.
Ziegler got the rebound for the Wildcats.
He's still got 12 points, the leading scorer in the afternoon for the Maroon Tigers.
At the block underneath, tried to get it over to Strickland. Tapped out of bounds, going back to Morehouse. So Morehouse will reclaim it now with 13-11 left in the basketball game. Turnover number 12 for the Wildcats in Fort Valley.
Yeah, their turnover number really has crept up.
Vontae Butler now being sent onto the floor for Morehouse. He will replace Keith Hurd in the lineup with 13-11 remaining.
Yes.
Well, Gooden takes a seat as well as James Walker reports back out.
That's Cavante's first action of the afternoon.
And you know the answer to the reason that you're seeing these players getting out there is because the Wildcats have dropped into that zone defense and Coach Brewer
We need some shooters.
Perimeter.
Yeah, we need some shooters out there.
Butler behind the arc, out front. Left side Andrews now just in front of the Morehouse bench. 13 to shoot. Now James Walker draws the defense, pushes back out front to Michael. 7 to shoot. James free, pops for 3. Had the look, it wouldn't stay.
It looks good when it left his hand, just can't get him going yet today.
And we know James Walker likes to let it fly, but we just haven't seen him have that many three-point attempts so far.
At the block, Clyde Jordan guarded by James Walker, working, trying to take advantage of the height. Does so with the left hand floating hook inside.
Walker stayed strong, stayed low, got his arms extended, just couldn't do nothing with those offensive moves.
12-15 left in the ball game. Andrews behind the arc with Morehouse leading by 2 now. He'll take another look, possible three-point shot. Lost his dribble inside Omar Austin, taken away by the Wildcats on the inside. Now they leaves it in the front court as Butler steals it. Here comes Michael Omer now in the corner to Walker. Butler wanted to get a three-pointer there, couldn't get it off. Left block Austin across the floor. Omer for 3. Yeah!
Great cross-court pass by Omar Austin, and the first three-pointer he gave for Michael Ulmer going down.
The left corner now on the move is Hardy for the Wildcats. Inside, good body control, missed on the shot. Clyde Jordan with the rebound. He'll miss on the putback. Got his own rebound after the missed shot and a whistle inside.
And how active has Clyde Jordan been on the glass for Fort Valley here today?
Oh, he's making his presence known. He's a 6'7", he's wiry, and he's strong at the same time.
11:30 left in the ball game. 47-42. Morehouse leads back after a timeout.
Infinity, empower the drive.
Remains in the basketball game. Morehouse with a 47-42 lead over the Wildcats of Fort Valley. Morehouse fresh off a 3-1 road trip. Back in the Forbes here for a ball game this afternoon and back here on Monday at 3 o'clock against the Golden Rams of Albany State. Then back out on the road for 3 ball games away from the campus, one of which Tucker Poole reported on with be across the AU Center at Clark Atlanta. All of these ball games, Eastern Conference action with the exception of Claflin, a non-conference opponent. Morehouse with 8 games left on the season. And a rough, tough road to hoe going up against these teams, all in contention for the East Conference title. Wildcats, one of those teams. Fort Valley currently in 4th in the East. In the corner with the jumper, shot by Hardy, it's off the mark. Austin clears that errant shot. Morehouse back the other way now.
And these two teams will see each other again in just over 2 weeks, so they'll be able a chance to get real familiar with one another and see each other again down in Fort Valley.
James Walker's free. He's got some space. Missed on the shot there. Clyde Jordan, the name you called, Tucker, coming away with a rebound there for Fort Valley.
He's made a tremendous impact for Fort Valley here today.
Right side, Gooden went for the steal. McMillan with the jumper. Gooden fouled him trying to get back on the backside of that play.
Yeah, he was out of position and fouled him with that right hand. That sent Fort Valley to the free throw line. Fort Valley hasn't been doing much today, only 3 out of 6 on the afternoon.
And McMillan is not the one we want to send to the line either. We know he can knock it down.
McMillan indeed from the free throw line at 65%. 40% from the floor, 37 of 52 from the charity stripe coming in. But a lot of that offense for Fort Valley centers around him as Michael Omer takes a seat and Kendall Walker, the senior, comes back out for the Maroon Tigers. Got that one from the free throw line, 47-43. Morehouse keeps the lead as Fort Valley goes into semi-token full court pressure.
The Maroon Tigers push that lead up to 6. It's currently at 3. You know they want to keep that lead as far high as they can.
Walker missed on a 3-point shot, and the other Walker, James Walker, got the rebound but missed on the putback left side. So James Walker's just done a lid on it for him, but he got a rebound there. Outlet pass Omar Austin. Austin lost it momentarily. Now they tie it up near the free throw line, and the jump ball, they go with the arrow. It'll stay with the Maroon Tigers.
Coach Brewer was saying that he was asking for a timeout, but he'll be okay the fact that they have the possession arrow.
And Robert Andrews set to come in.
And Omar Austin's hustle and activity and energy is just instinctive. He's not a player that you have to tell, dive on the ball or dive on the loose ball.
He lives on that floor, doesn't he?
He lives on the floor. He hustles 24/7, and that's just a testament to his energy and his love for the game.
Well, speaking of being on the floor, he's Bombay.
He got himself the new sweat mop too. You see that?
Yeah.
No time of the day. Got the new sweat mop. I'm talking about it.
Everything's changing here in Morehouse Athletics. Everything's state of the art.
We've been using that sweat towel for 20 years.
Sure. I hope it wasn't the same one. Morehouse half court set now. Walker, Kendall, left side good. Back to Kendall, 12 to shoot for the Maroon Tigers. Andrews on the move, right-hand floater, left it short, fought for the rebound and the putback, and we got a whistle there.
And he'll hit to the line shooting too. That's twice we've seen a Maroon Tiger get their own offensive rebound by having a quick second jump. This time he'll lead the free throws.
Andrews to shoot. Started out like gangbusters for him from the floor for Morehouse. And Andrews from the free throw line, 1 of 2 as he misses the first there.
Still leading the Maroon Tigers on the day in scoring at 12 points. We need to get one of these other free throws to go down.
3 of 8 from behind the arc, but that was early on in the ball game.
Yeah, he made 3 of his first 4. He's missed his last 5.
Got that second free throw there. Take the Morehouse lead to 4, 48-44. Tap from behind, and Strickland had it hit. Catching up, good work there by the Maroon Tiger defense.
A play like that, you can't coach that. Omar Austin hustling back down the floor to get to his man.
The timeout called on 9:41. Wildcats took it 48-44. Morehouse leads. Back with more after the timeout. Set for play to resume. 9:41 left in the basketball game. Morehouse leads by 4. We were talking a few minutes ago, Tucker, about school being back in session. I want to welcome back the Maroon Tigers cheerleaders down to our right after the break. And as usual, exhorting the fans on here in support of the Maroon Tigers. Brianna Cleveland The new head coach for the Morehouse cheerleaders doing a fine job there. Wildcats alley-oop it inside, a lazy alley-oop inside the script, but nobody was there. He just caught it inside the paint and turned for an easy layup.
Yeah, much to the upset of Coach Brewer. He's not happy about the defensive effort by the Maroon Tigers on that possession.
Wildcats content to stay in that zone defense, going to force Morehouse to shoot them out of it.
I guess Fort Valley was watching Syracuse versus Duke a couple days ago as the Syracuse Orange took down #1 Duke, because Duke had nothing to do with that zone that Syracuse plays.
In the backcourt, Andrews took it away from Morehouse. Kip Walker did, and he gives it over to Andrews. We go to 8:40 left.
And you see the bigs of Fort Valley just playing excellent today. Strickland having hustle plays down on the offensive end, same as Clea Jordan.
Andrews takes the three from out front, spinners off the mark. Nothing wrong with the look there. Just wouldn't stay down. So Fort Valley will have the basketball and a chance to tie it up here with 8:27 left. Morehouse on the season averaging 80 points per ball game. 8:20 left and 25 left in this ball game. They fall short of that average tonight. But what counts is whether they can get more points than Fort Valley when this thing's over.
Yeah, only thing you need to do is win by 1. But right now, the Maroon Tigers only shooting 44% from the field. Fort Valley has crept their shooting percentage up to 50. We've got to start shooting better.
McMillan out front for three, and he rattled that one here to Fort Valley, and that's good enough to give them the lead, 49-48.
And that's what we can't do. We can't let McMillan start to get hot.
Fort Valley's first lead since 17 minutes to go in the first half.
James Walker fires a three, looked uncomfortable shooting that one, and the result, not what he wanted. So Fort Valley with the basketball on a 1-point lead now.
We have not seen Shabeze yet here in the second half. I wondered, here he comes now. Maybe we'll try to get a little offensive firepower off the bench for the Maroon Tigers.
McMillan trying to go to work for the Wildcats, trying to slide it inside, and they throw the basketball away. The Maroon Tigers will have the basketball there. And that'll come right after what's going to be the media timeout here. 7:27 remaining, and Morehouse leading it on trailing by 49-48. More after the break. Monday night. Back live after the timeout now. Maroon Tigers with the basketball, trailing at 49-48 to the Wildcats of Fort Valley. Wildcats last 5 or 6 minutes of this ball game been in that zone defense, and it's posed a problem for the Maroon Tigers. They stay in that zone defense. Tucker, you just left the bench. What'd you find out?
Well, Coach Brewer is drawing up some zone offense for his guys. He wants to see a 4-high set because he said they're being too stagnant in that, against that zone. So he wants to see some movement, and there you go.
Nothing stagnant about that jumper by Omer. So Morehouse gets that basket and will get the lead. I think they gave it to the Wildcats instead on the scoreboard, so they'll correct that. So Morehouse with the lead now. Half-court set for the Wildcats now. Behind the arc, McMillan for three. Boy, that had a good look on it, but it spins out there for McMillan.
James Walker
right there.
With the defensive rebound. Let's see if we can get back-to-back quality offensive possessions for the Maroon Tigers as we've got the scoreboard right now.
Did they give him two on that last basket? Over inside the paint, all the way underneath. Shot blocked on the inside of the whistle. It'll stay with the Maroon Tigers. Thought that was a three-point basket he had there.
No, he was well inside the arc.
Okay.
A good 18-foot jumper he hit there.
But they still have corrected the score. It's still, now Morehouse leads it 50-49.
Yes,
They had not changed it on the Wildcat side yet. So Morehouse with the lead. James Walker at the block. He's fouled. Walker will go to the line.
Clyde Jordan right back in the game picks up that foul. James Walker hitting to the line. It's been a minute for the Maroon Tigers to get a free throw to go down. We need 2-1 to go down right here.
And to your point, Tucker, about what Coach Brewer was saying at the sideline, it looks like they were trying to be a lot more aggressive on that zone by working it inside. And last couple trips down the floor, it's paid off. This one sends James Walker to the free throw line.
And that's how you get movement in the zone. When you throw that ball inside, let your big man work out, draw some of those defenders into the big so he can swing it out to your shooters.
Yeah, the way to beat the zone is inside to outside.
Walker rattled and missed on the second free throw, but the rebound comes clear to Robert Andrews, and Morehouse with a fresh 30 to work with at 6:03 left in the ball game. Chabeze pushes left side. Now there's Chabeze in the corner for three. Missed on the shot. You called it right, Eric. They were trying to get him involved, but he's not able to convert there. Down at the block, James Walker hesitated, missed on the shot, and he's fouled though.
Well, on that offensive rebound, it was Chabeze that actually skied and tipped the ball over to Andrews and to set up that possession for the Maroon Tigers. And once again, they get down into the paint and draw yet again another foul.
So Walker to shoot here.
What a great entry pass by Michael Olmert in there to James Walker.
Walker 1 of 2 from the free throw line.
We know Olmert has such great playmaking ability as Walker misses the first free throw.
He's third in the nation overall in assists, so Michael Olmert really stepping in those big shoes left by Tyrus Walker and leading this team.
Morehouse right now 6 of 15 from the free throw, 14 from the free throw line.
Don't say it. And
Austin though, and Austin's going to be fouled. We'll go back to the line and see if we can change some things here.
And Eric, you mentioned Michael Olmert filling in those shoes, and it's not necessarily being filled the same exact way Tyrus did it. You know, Tyrus was mainly a scorer, but you see Michael Olmert filling those shoes and by facilitating and getting the offense in the spots that they need to be in.
Olmert, second in the nation in assists, 7.9 per ball game. Obviously first in the conference in that category. First in the nation overall in assists with 118 on the season. And first in the conference, first on the team and fourth in the conference in steals per ball game. So both of your points is that he's filling these shoes but doing it the Olmert way.
Right, exactly.
And right now the free throws going the traditional way of Morehouse as Austin missed the first.
How frustrating must it be for a coach that you dedicate hour after hour to free throw shooting, you just don't see them going down in your games?
Did not see a second one go down by Austin as well, and the results in a foul by James Walker and the basketball over to Fort Valley.
So now if you're the Maroon Tigers following those missed free throws, you have to buckle down and stay strong defensively.
They go in the full court pressure. McMillan handles in the backcourt over to Strickland. Up the floor, there's the steal. James Walker, 3-on-1 now. Walker lost it momentarily. Over to Olmert, and Olmert got the lead.
Get me to the old-fashioned way.
You got it. 53-49 after the turnover and basket. Wildcats back the other way. Maroon Tigers with the lead.
What defense there by Michael Olmert. Fort Valley thought they were able to drive it hard. He started to move to his right. Olmert settled down and stopped his drive.
Goodman falls to the floor but gets up. Strickland now toward the basket and the whistle. Tremel Gooden called with the foul there, but Tremel thinking that he was fouled prior to that call going against him. Strickland knocked him to the floor, and Tremel tried to get up to get back into the play, and he committed the foul.
It's one of those old situations. I may not see that first foul, but I'm going to see that second foul.
McMillan handles.
Stepped out of bounds.
Basketball back over to the Maroon Tigers. Turnover number 22 for the Wildcats of Fort Valley.
And that's exactly what you need right now for the Maroon Tigers. Another turnover from Fort Valley. Give you another chance to make up for those missed free throws.
The Maroon Tigers have forced 22 turnovers, but they've only got 17 points off of those turnovers. We see a basket go in here now. That would be a great way to capitalize on that turnover just to happen.
Under 5 minutes left in the contest. Olmert bounce pass Andrews. Head fake. Now he pushes to the rack. Back to Olmert for three. Rammers up the mark. Off the man. Easy cross. He got in behind the defense and got the back to Morehouse. Still at the midcourt by Chabeze. And we go back the other way. And gets the crowd to the feet here inside Forbes. 1-1
Shabazz to shoot.
Like I keep saying, you can't teach that energy.
You cannot teach it.
Omar Austin is just all over the place on the defensive side of the ball, the offensive side of the ball. You can't teach that.
You know, I've been keeping track of the preseason SIAC members. I mean, you've got to think that right now, if you had to vote today, you're looking at the player of the year in SIAC and Omar Austin.
Silence connotes consent.
And we have a thank you out of our producer, Chuck Johnson, as Shabazz gets a free throw to go down.
He's the leading free throw shooter for the Maroon Tigers. Maybe we just get him to go to the line for everybody else. Spinners off on the second for Shabazz.
I think we got to be silent every time they shoot, guys, because when we're silent, they make them.
Trapped there by the Maroon Tigers, and
Ziegler's tied up. And a timeout taken by Fort Valley to bail themselves out of that. 4:28 remains. Morehouse leads 56-49. More after the break. 4:27 remains. Morehouse with a 56-49 lead over the Wildcats of Fort Valley.
And it looked like the ref might have just missed a carry call right there.
Quiet Jordan out front. Trying to get it to McMillan. He's guarded by the defensive specialist Gooden. But to the rack is McMillan, kind of stumbling and bumbling his way there. But he got a lay-in.
Yeah, he pushed off a little bit to create some space. No foul called, no offensive foul called. So that's okay. The Maroon Tigers just got to come back on the offensive end and answer that basket.
56-51. Gooden on the move, right block, and he's fouled there by Ziegler as he made the move. So that will send Gooden to the line to shoot for Morehouse. And Morehouse right now 7 of 19 from the free throw line, 36%. We'll take a break here and see how Gooden fares at the free throw line.
I'm all shook up.
Back live inside Forbes Arena, 3:54 remains now. Morehouse with a 56-51 lead over the Wildcats of Fort Valley. Fort Valley on a 2-game win streak. Morehouse trying to rebound after having its 9-game win streak broken on Monday night with the loss to the Tigers of Benedict. So Trammell at the line shooting 2 here, 1 and 1, and rattled and missed on the first. Rebound comes clear through Ziegler and the Wildcats. During the timeout, Tucker Toole telling me that Trammell 1 of 50% from the free throw line. We didn't get what we wanted on that trip down the floor. Shot off the mark there by Williams. And Fort Valley misses on an opportunity there. They never set on the offense, just fired that one, and Morehouse coming back the other way with that 56-51 lead. Andrews surveys up top James Walker. Now Olmert handles right side. 10 to shoot for the Maroon Tigers.
The Maroon Tigers will work slow here now as we're almost in game-winning time. They'll try to work that clock down as that 3 goes up. Off the mark, that offensive rebound.
So they'll get a fresh 30 here with 3:05 left. Now Olmert back out front. Wildcats stay in that zone defense. Morehouse with the 56-51 lead. Olmert slides left side, left it for Andrews at the block. Over to Omar Austin. Nicely done by the Maroon Tigers. Andrews to the basket.
Making the extra pass.
I was just about to say, that's just great ball movement by the Maroon Tigers on that possession.
So the Maroon Tigers match their biggest lead of the game at 7 points.
Ziegler, floater left side, off the mark. Wild shot there by him. James Walker got the rebound, but he took a shot in the right eye. And we're going to have an official's timeout here. So Walker with the rebound. Paid a cost for it. I think he's okay, though. As Levi Griffin comes out on the floor for the Wildcats of Fort Valley, his first spot of duty in the ball game. James Walker will stay on the floor for the Maroon Tigers. 2:22 left in this basketball contest.
Now, see, Walker has to come out since they stopped the action on the floor. So he has to come out.
So Walker will go to the edge of the Maroon Tiger bench. There. Trying to see if Craig 99 Boyd is over there to greet him as he comes. Indeed he is, just behind the Morehouse bench.
Well, he's in that tool bag of his, that little trainer's table, getting something out of there, and he's going to patch him up real quick.
We're at 2:08 left in the ball game now. 12 to shoot for Morehouse. Omer, slide pass left side Andrews. Robert down in the corner, Gooden, 6 to shoot. Terrell to the rack, left side, missed on the shot. Drew the foul though, he'll go to the line.
And he'll have two attempts this time at the line.
I know you hated to say it. I thought you said you were going to be quiet, right? We have a broadcast obligation to say something, otherwise we would.
All right, let me zip it.
Gooden with a minute 58 left, and Morehouse at a woeful 35% shooting from the free throw line. That one looked short, but he got a forward roll on it, and he got the first free throw. Well, we'll take him any way we can get him at this point.
Well, Charles and Tucker hoping that, the Maroon Tigers can stretch this lead out a little bit more and hold on here for the last 2 minutes and push our record to 14-2. Think about it, 14-2. We've already lost more games in the regular season than we did last year. Just every time you think about it, how remarkable the 2017-18 season was to go 25-1 in the regular season. Something we may never see again here at Morehouse.
A minute 43 left in this one to get to that 14th win. McMillan from way outside missed on the shot, but the put back there by Griffin, he missed on that shot.
At point-blank range, couldn't give that one go down.
Yeah, it looked like he was a little bit off balance inside. Yeah. Austin got that rebound as a result.
That three-point shot looked like it was in slow motion as it was going up there and just went off the mark.
And that move to create the space on the step.
It was a great move.
Great move because he made Shamel Gooden, who's a great defender, shift.
10 to shoot now for Morehouse. Austin set the screen for Omer. Omer slides down low, tried to get it to Hurd, and they throw it out of bounds.
Just a little too low for Hurd's 6'9" frame. If he'd got it up, that probably been a throwdown for Keith.
Yeah, when you bounce pass it in the middle like that, it's almost got to come up waist high.
Yeah.
Or it's got to be a straight pass, waist high or higher. 63 seconds left in the ball game now. Williams handles for Fort Valley. 60-51. He'll go to the rack right side. The float is good by Williams inside the paint.
Oh, that was a pretty move he made to cross over and get into the paint. Under a minute, guys.
7-point lead. Omer out front. Williams guarding. 18 on the shot clock. Michael deliberate about handling and running that clock off. 10 to shoot. Left corner, they throw it away. Hardy came over with the basketball. He'll push right side to the rack, shot block, but on the inside, Griffin got the rebound, and he got the basket.
Coach Boyle asking for a timeout over there.
26 seconds left.
And now he's going to let him bring it up.
Andrews just in front of the bench. Hardy took it away, and a basketball over to the Wildcats. They wanted that timeout, got it into the half-court set. I think Coach Brewer still wanted it.
Yeah, he still wanted it.
But Hardy able to take it away before they were able to get it.
Well, actually, what I think happened was Andrews was trying to form the T with his hands, and when he did that, he lost the ball, yeah.
I'm calling it, Coach. I'm calling it. Take it away. 19 seconds left in this basketball game. Morehouse with a 60-55 lead. Fort Valley just really game. Morehouse with a 60-55 lead. Fort Valley just really trying to step up that intensity to see if they can take it away, and they got a break there at the sideline. Be interesting to see what their strategy is on this half-court set, whether they go for one pretty quickly here, or a perimeter shot, or try to work it to the inside.
Well, you've got 19 seconds left. You've got to go up quickly. You're not in the bonus situation. Morehouse has 2 fouls to give. So if you're the Maroon Tigers and you can see an opportunity to get a foul, make them start over every time. You can do that at least once. And matter of fact, go ahead and do it twice. Send them to the free throw line. Make them earn it from the stripe.
They're shooting 62% from the free throw line in this basketball game, so may not be a bad strategy at all to try to get them there.
There's no such thing as a 5-point free throw shot. So
really?
No.
And if I'm the Maroon Tigers, I'm just making sure we get the ball in anybody except for McMillan's hands. Because McMillan is able to get a quick shot off, they can come back and foul. So,
good point.
Well, Kimball Walker just checked in from Maroon Tigers. Let's see if we start doing some offensive, defensive substitutions. I hope Shabazz is out there because you want to kind of predict and if they get into a foul situation, let's give them somebody that they don't want to foul.
I was waiting to see as they broke that huddle over there whether Terrell Gooden was going to be out on that floor. To your point, Tucker, about McMillan being the arch enemy here. If they do have Gooden on McMillan here because they expect them to go to him if they can. But right now they got 15 to shoot on the clock. Floater inside the paint and a whistle.
That wasn't the foul we wanted to give, not in the act of shooting.
Absolutely.
But that's okay. We took 8 seconds off the clock, and once again, they can't score all 5 points from the free throw line. So even if they make 2, we've got to defend the ball. We got to actually get the rebound. We need a defensive rebound if they miss.
Williams from the line. This is his first trip to the free throw line for Fort Valley. This is on the first.
And here come the free throw shooters for the Maroon Tigers.
James Walker.
And Shabazz.
Season at 65% at 31. And Evan, the leading free throw shooter for Morehouse, 38 of 52 coming into this afternoon's ball game.
Williams.
11.6 left.
So the important thing here is to box out. If this free throw is off the mark, you got to secure the rebound. And then wait for the foul.
Fox Ames fires and he misses. There's the rebound to Michael Over. And over to Robert Andrews, and likely the seal of this basketball game as Andrews will walk the other end of the floor to shoot the free throws. Andrews at 66% from the free throw line, 27 of 41. In today's ball game, he's at 50%, 2 of 4 shooting.
All to be forgotten if he makes 2 free throws right now.
Indeed it will. Robert Rimmer on the first, and that's the shooter's touch there. Good dance to rim and fell good.
That's the importance of rotation on the basketball. That rotation is what made that ball bounce up to the backboard and fall back in.
61-55.
I could have swore I thought these new rims were supposed to make more free throws, not I have us missed.
Well, we haven't quite gotten them calibrated the way that we need them yet. They're still new. So we got them both from the line, 62-55. Another timeout on the floor with just 6.7 seconds left. And that free throw situation there with Andrews almost seals it for Morehouse in this basketball game.
You would think that will take care of it. You know, the good thing about college basketball, there is no advancement of the ball to the half-court stripe, so you still got to go the length of the floor. That's going to take at least 3, 4, maybe even 5 seconds. So you got probably 1 shot to defend, and you got a 7-point lead. So should be victory time for the Maroon Tigers. I don't hear no keys jingling there, but
He says school is back in session, and we see a lot of the students starting to make their way out of here as the Maroon Tigers look to have this one sealed up.
time to hit your way to the calf.
Morehouse likely on its way to 14-2 against a team that looks a lot better than what we saw in the early part of the season, and a team that Morehouse will see down at the HPE Arena on the Fort Valley campus early February.
2 weeks from tomorrow, I believe.
Entry pass tapped off out of bounds. Another reset there for Fort Valley. Maroon Tigers coming off the road. Needed to avenge that win on Monday night. They'll do so against the Wildcats and be right back here on Monday afternoon against Albany State. Floater to the rack is good by Williams. And that'll bring us to the end of the fourth arena. Morehouse struggling mightily from the free throw line. Still able to come away with a win. Thank you. Coach Brewer and his Maroon Tigers win it this afternoon, 62-57 over the Wildcats of Fort Valley. Congratulations, Coach Brewer, and we'll see you back here from Forbes Arena. Special thanks to Dr. David A. Thomas, President of Morehouse College, the Executive Producer of the Maroon Tigers Sports Network, its Athletics Director, Andre Patillo, Sports Information Director, Ruben Perez, Katari Key, Associate AD for Compliance, Rhonda Higgs, Administrative Assistant, Eric Tiger Turner, Manager of Game Day Operations, Richard Barkley, Facilities Manager, and Brianna Cleveland, Head Coach of the Maroon Tigers Cheerleaders. Special thanks to my broadcast partner, Eric. Thanks to our producer and director, Chuck Johnson of Multimedia Technologies and the fine camera crew. That'll do it from here again. Once again, Morehouse winners this afternoon, 62-57 over the Wildcats of Fort Valley. Back here at Forbes on Monday when the Golden Rams come calling and Morehouse tries to go to 15-2. Until then, Charles Ward saying thanks so much for joining us on this afternoon. See you back here on Monday afternoon from Forbes.